Sorry, what's your name? Brandon. And that's it.
Hello, my name is John Williams, and my refutation speech will be on the claim of legalizing marijuana would help stimulate the economy. So his claims were legalizing marijuana would provide the country with a substantial amount of taxes, and legalizing marijuana would remove the U.S. Against the war toward the marijuana drug war, and also save lives in medical research. And already legalizing marijuana has proven beneficial in some states. So he first started off by saying that around $40 to $50 billion of American money would be used toward this war against marijuana. That was actually $40 to $50 billion on the war against drugs, and only 3.6 of that million was actually used on the war against marijuana. And we're $1 trillion in debt, so I don't think 3.6 billion would really help us too much in the long run. Would help a little bit, but and then also, so if you legalize marijuana, owners would make a profit of over $1 million within 10 months. However, that's only an individual owner of that store. That really wouldn't help the economy as a whole, or let alone a state as a whole with their economy. Secondly, he said that legalizing marijuana would remove the U.S. war against a war toward marijuana drug in Mexico, which that is beneficiary, but has nothing really to do with our economy at the moment. Yes, it would probably save some lives, but I don't really see how that would help our economy rise. Then he also talks about how gangs in Mexico have an estimate of 25,000. I'm not sure. The gangs kill about an average of 10,000 Americans per year. That is probably a true statement, but that is still irrelevant to his main claim. And then he also said how marijuana could suppress cancer, treat glaucoma, alleviate pain, and reduce blood pressure. But actually, all of these, except for reduce blood pressure and alleviate pain, are still under debate. So that it can't be proven that it treats glaucoma or suppresses cancer at the moment. And legalizing marijuana has been proven beneficial in some states. So it's two states that he said it was Oregon and Washington. Actually, Oregon is only legalized for medical marijuana, and the actual other state was Colorado. And they haven't, Colorado has already gone into effect as of October 1st, but they haven't produced any official results as to how their economy has improved or not improved because of this. And Washington will not be in effect until November 18th, so you can't really say that it's already proven to work because it hasn't been put into effect yet. States border Mexico have the highest death rates because they border among the country which supplies American marijuana. Yet again, that is another presumably true claim. However, it is still not relevant to his main claim. And kids will believe that marijuana is okay. Well, that's not really true because there's still a lot of Rise Above and a lot of organizations that are still really against drug use, and especially with youth. So just because they legalize, if anything, I think legalizing marijuana would make it seem that kids would think it's okay. So that wouldn't really do anything. And let alone he says also other drugs out there like alcohol, cigarettes, and stuff like that. But there is like an age limit on there. So, wouldn't really make any difference. So really, with what I just said, I've proven that legalizing marijuana would not really increase the amount of taxes. It might help us with the war against Mexico, but probably won't because they'll still kill because that's what they do over there is sell marijuana and everything. And legalizing marijuana has not been proven to be beneficiary yet. Thank you.
All right, John, you identify the proposition pretty clearly in the secondary claims. You have a pretty clear transition to the first point. Your argument about how much money we spend on this suggests that it's substantially less than the advocate's talking about. You use the term million. I'm not sure, it might be billion, but either way, it's definitely far less than what the advocate's talking about. And then the question becomes, how important is that to the economy? You make it a very general statement about that being insufficient to move the economy in one direction or the other substantially. I do think that you need a little demonstration of that, because I think there are plenty of people who think if we spent $3.6 billion on some stimulus in the economy, either an economic incentive or tax changes or something like that, that it would have a benefit, and you need to do a little bit more to minimize that. Also, I didn't get a source citation on that, so I'm not sure how you came up with that much smaller figure that is specific to marijuana. If it's the advocate's own evidence, you need to point that out, and you should be citing that also. If you've done some research, make sure that you get your source citation in proving that particular point. On the Mexican War issues, you know, the slayings that are going on down there, your main argument here is that it's not relevant to the U.S. economy, and I think that that's a good claim to make, because the proposition that the advocate is talking about is making an economic proposition. You might show how unimportant U.S. Trade with Mexico is on issues that would be affected by excuse me. I'm sure there's another one in there somewhere. There it is. Okay. I'm not sure if the advocate said 10,000 Americans are killed each year by the Mexican drug trade. That seems like a high number. I'm not saying it's not true, but if that's what they said, what are we doing about it currently? Why is it likely to change? I think there's a good press to be made there, and you need to be pushing a little bit harder on that. On the medical issue, once again, the relevancy question comes up. How does that affect the economic situation that's going on? You don't really discuss that much. You really talk about whether or not there's some dispute about the impact it's going to have, and on particular illnesses. I think you need some evidence on those particular points. The general challenge about Colorado and Washington is okay. I didn't understand the whole argument about kids accepting it one way or the other, or whether or not they would. I'm not sure why that's an argument in favor of the advocate's position, and I think there is maybe an argument to be made that there's a negative consequence that occurs here, but it's not developed. All right, thank you.